Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Oh, Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram. Ayom to everybody. Ah, like day for yesterday, one of our devotees had asked for the something about Anahata and Ahata. As far as we know, Anahata is the unmanifested form of the sound, and Ahata is the manifested. Normally, when we go to a temple, the temple bell rings. Actually, the person who is operating is we don't know. He will have the second strike only when the first strike stops its vibration. That means it will be continuous. But for those that continuous, easy way to understand Anahata for people like us is when you chant Om, Ram, Om. Even after the vocal chanting stops. The sound continues there. Or in a way, we all take it that we don't want to be too much technical about it. There is a big theory behind Anahata, and instead of breaking our heads, when we chant vocal Ramnam and mental Ram, mentally when we chant Ramnam, there is a sound, but it is not produced outside. It is not manifested outside. Many people who have heard Puja Mataji talking about the different steps to realization. She used to say when they come to Anahata, Chakra also there is an heart center. They will start hearing some sound. They should not stop. Anahata is the unexpressed form of sound. Gandhiji used to bring it out in a more easy way. He says in the prayer is no flight of eloquence. It is no lip homage. It springs from the heart. If therefore we achieve the purity of the heart, this is very important. Anahata sound will be heard, or we will know about this anahata, this unproduced sound, only when the heart becomes pure, serene, all embracing. Nothing is there at the individual level. So much of purity should be there. So he says, it springs from the heart. If therefore we achieve that purity of the heart, when it is emptied of all but love, love means absence of other. If we keep all the chords in proper tune, they trembling pass in music out of sight. The Tennyson's prayer, poem, word, Gandhiji used. You know where he used this? When he was in London, student, he took three vows before his mother. He will not touch non-vegetarian food. He will not take to alcohol. He will not misbehave with any ladies. When he went there during his study, on, on one occasion, he was not studying. On one occasion, there was a get together of all friends. And naturally, from the noble subjects, it started slipping into the mundane to cravings. Finally, he was about to slip. A lady who was serving, he was about to slip. Suddenly, one person, well-wisher is there. He said, if there is no self-control, better you go. He got up and went. At that time, he has written. These words have come. It saved me. That inner sound, it prompted him. Then later on, he will say, it is always going on. The divine music is always going on. But we must have the divine music is incessantly going on within ourselves. But the loud senses drown the delicate music, which is unlike and infinitely superior to any we can perceive or hear with our senses. So this is called, we can understand anahata like this. Not too much technical. From a standpoint of the devotee or aspirant, anahata is the divine music that is going on, not expressed out. Literal meaning is, an anada or sound is divided into two. Ahada, produced. Anahata, not produced. So the easy way is to concentrate on sound and ensure that the verbal or vocal it stops. Then you hear. That is why this pranam mantra is used. When you chant, oh, you collectively, individually. When you stop, goes on by itself. Sound. Apparently, there is no sound. So in our case, we say mentally chanting of Nam. For that, if we have to hear that, uh, preparations are necessary. Then only the divine music can be heard. What we said was is a preparation, mental chanting. All these things are preparation, but the divine music, the real Nada Brahma, that's called Nada. That sound. Now we are talking, there's a sound coming. That sound owes its origin to that. So when we stop all external sound, that is why silence is resorted to. Silencing the mind, not silencing our talk alone. That is the first primary stage. Silencing the mind, stilling the mind. Then that is not the correct expression, but that is the only way we can express. Then what happens in the divine music? That means the blissful attitude, blissful state. So better we try when we try to lead a pure life, which is a must, not a self-centered life, God-centered life. Anahata dhvani, that we will be able to hear. It is you can even say, it is not the sound that we have understood the sound, but it is a sound, an inexplicable, pleasant experience. So we try with the vocal sound, then we try to go deeper. Let's say Papa prescribed three types of chanting: vocal, silent, mental. He also insisted that outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. That word we should never forget. Then only the last one will become effective. If Nama, the quality of the Nama chanting has to improve, our outer behavior towards His creation, it should become harmonious. As far as possible, there should be a constant urge in me to get rid of the otherness. Think. So the moment the otherness is there, that means the dirt is there. So that means qualitative chanting will not be taking place. Immediately we become alert. Nama itself serves as a sentinel, watchman, and it prompts us, hey, what are you thinking now and what are you chanting? So that is why this Nama purifies. It also purifies, but it requires His grace in the sense, we must not go out of the line. Anahata sound, when we try to understand, it is nothing but, as far as sadhaka is concerned, purity is essential. Another thing is, unless and until we reach that stage, we will not be able to say anything about that sound. Gandhiji could say that. Divine music is going on, is incessantly going on within ourselves. But the loud senses drown the delicate senses, all our sense organs. They ignore this voice and they try to go out, keep themselves busy there, hardly taking notice of the divine. So when all those senses are under control, that is purity. Then we will be able to. And it is not the hearing that we all now have concept about hearing. Can't be explained, Raga. How the raga has come. Can you imagine? Even now, when you close your eyes and chant any name, just watch where from that sound comes. The moment you stop chanting, what happens? When somebody is leading, we are hearing. Hearing means what? The sound is there. Yeah. And our sound, suppose our mind is going elsewhere, will we be able to hear the sound? Somebody is chanting or rendering some music. We are sitting there, our ears are open. But if the mind, is senses are out, will we be able to think? It's a good thing that this particular topic has come up for reflection. Normally, we say Om or temple. The heaven is uninterrupted. No, there is Anahat. It goes on, no, like that. The temple bell, when he strikes, there is a vibration going on, like that. And when it stops, about to stop, he will give again one. So the vibration continues. And one interpretation, uninterrupted, uninterrupted flow. So that is going on according to Gandhiji's words. That is going on incessantly in our. We are unable to hear it because the mind does not. Senses are still dominating. So in our case, our pathway is Ramnam. So if the Ramnam has to become effective, giving me the visa to enter into, then I must qualify myself. There are certain prerequisites to get this visa. Absolute purity, show 100% God-centeredness, then only we will hear. This is what Mahatmas talk about Anahat. We try to understand it through mental chanting, where the sound is not expressed, but we are conscious of the sound. If we are not conscious of it, the mind is going elsewhere. And only the silent chanting will pave the way for Sakshiva, witness conscious. And that is nothing but the awareness, absolute God realization. This is what Papa explains about. So Papa gives a lot of importance for mental chanting. I think we can limit ourselves to this Anahata and vocal chanting and mental chanting. And mental chanting will become effective only when heart is becoming purer and purer. Otherwise, the moment the mental chanting starts, mind will go because there is nothing to hold on. Nothing apparently external there. Papa has written that when the mind refuses to become quiet, seek is surrender, self surrender. I cannot do it, please. So that self surrender paves the way for the emergence of witness consciousness. He says, when we sit quietly, when we sit silently, we have to be conscious in the first place that the God we seek is in our own heart. First prerequisite. Then mentally repeat his name. Make the mind repeat the name until all its waves are cease and it becomes perfectly still. If it does not easily become still, we have to continue the repetition of the name mentally with an attitude of self surrender. Then we try to develop a witness consciousness. It is a state of awareness of the immortal, radiant truth within us. In fact, this awareness itself is God realization. So mental repetition, ceaseless. So from the vocal, we try to train our mind to take up mental chant, mental chant. Because then only we are paving the way for the indwelling reality to come out. That is why mostly when we, it's not that we are degrading the importance of the vocal chanting. There is a joy in it, but let us watch ourselves. What happens to us? Are we moved? Are we feeling the sense of nearness of God? So up to certain level, this vocal chanting will definitely help, and collectively it will help. Real progress will start only from mental chant, because here we are facilitating for the indwelling reality to emerge in the form of sakshi, sarvadi sakshi. The watcher is the real you, the self immortal. Elsewhere, Papa says. Witness conscious means the watcher. The watcher is the real you, the self immortal. All our attempts are only to feel his presence. So outwardly, we should become purer and purer and purer and purer. Internally, we should become purer and purer and purer. That means only love. Love means absence of otherness. And as Gandhiji says, suppose I am not pure, what is the use? No, chanting itself will make us pure. Every time we should feel, pray, cry, weep, appeal. Why are you not making me pure? You have given me the urge to have your darshan, face to face darshan. But at the same time, you have allowed all the chapalas cravings to go here and there. What am I to do now? This is what Papa did. If you go through the outpourings in the inquest of God last, you will find this inner struggle, tug of war, and how finally, he was able to conquer it. This is the method he has placed before. All these thoughts came because somebody raised the top. This is enough. We need not be too much technical or subjective about it. Ultimately, it should enable us to move faster towards. Then coming back to yesterday, a few articles we had to give because for want of time. I think we read Yajnavalkya and Janaka. For the sake of continuity, we will read that. Somebody said there is PhD. Actually, it is not PhD, so it may look PhD. These are all something that will give us some more clarity on the ideal for which we are all striving. The inner light, the light of light. Here is an interesting question answer session between King Janaka and Yajnavalkya related to the knowledge of the self. King Janaka, O revered sage, what is the light that illumines a person? The light that awakens and impels him to perform all that he does. Now we can ask ourselves, what is that light which makes us to see, which makes us to hear, which makes us to think? Yajnavalkya gave a very straightforward answer by saying, O son, the son, O king, for who is, what is the light that illumines the person? The sun. O king, it is sun because it is the sun alone that is the source of all light. And it is for this light that man sits, moves about, does all his work and returns. Early morning, the sun rises, we are active. When the sun sets, we are retiring. He is the Raja. The moment he comes within, we are all active. That is right, O Venerable sage, but when the sun has set, what is it that helps man as light? The moon. It is the moon that is the light of the man when the sun is not there, was the reply of Yajnavalkya. All right, I agree. But when the sun is not there, the moon is also not there. Then what is it that guides man as his light? Asked Janaka again. Yajnavalkya said, when the sun has set and the moon is not there, fire is our light. For by that we sit, work, go out, and come back. I am all in agreement with you, said Janaka, continued asking. But what then is the light when there is no moon, no sun, no moon, and no fire? Each indeed is the light when all these are absent. Even though we cannot see our hand in the dark, we can hear the voice and move towards the sound. Let us. Every one of us has experience. Suddenly the light goes, we are in pitch dark. Suppose we are in the process of serving or writing or hearing. Wait, don't. I'm coming, you're here. Then the person sits with the way, whatever with which he is serving. And we also keep our hand. We have gone to the schools of mentally impaired, sorry, visually impaired people. There, the sound guides them. Sound is the one that is giving them light. With sound, they manage everything. So speech indeed is the light. Janaka was happy. But still, one more question. O revered sage, when sun sets, moon is not there, fire is absent, there is no speech, then what is the light? Self indeed is our light. Captain S. It's inexplicable. We can only bring the word self, Atman, spirit, or by that we sit, move, work, go out and come back. Janaka by this, but wanted to know from Yajnavalkya more about the self that you refer to as the light of lights, to which the sage replied, this is really a cream, enough food for us to eat, to digest. The self is the pure awareness that shines as the light within the heart, surrounded by the senses. Surrounded by the senses. Seeing, hearing, talking, tasting, smelling, thinking, intellect, knowing. All these things are surrounded by this. The self is free from desire. Here, the man who is in union with the self, not under the clutches of the senses. We should know that. We are adding that word. The man who, in union with the self, sees without seeing, smells without smelling, tastes without tasting, speaks without speaking, hears without hearing, touches without touching, thinks without thinking, knows without knowing. Or why? Oh, there is nothing separate from it. This state of not having another is the state of unity, one without a second. That is the world of Brahman. World is God. This is the supreme goal of life, the supreme treasure, the cosmic table spread by Maulana Wahiduddin Khan. The Quran says that God is the light of the skies and earth. This means that the world is entirely an expression of divine attributes. A sensitive heart will see reflections of God in everything that exists here. The entire cosmos is a table spread of divine sustenance. If faith in God gives someone the sensitivity that true faith in God engenders, he will see God's light everywhere in the universe. When the breeze touches him, he will feel that he is experiencing the touch of God. In the softness of the breeze, in the flow of a stream, he will see the mercy of God expressing itself. When he hears the chirping of birds, his heart will witness a soul-stirring tune played on a divine musical instrument. When he smells a fragrant flower, it would be like bathing in divine fragrance. Every single thing in this world has been made in such a way that on seeing it, man can draw a lesson. Those who truly love God can experience these divine states. The flame of the forest is a tree that bears amazingly beautiful flowers. When autumn comes and its leaves fall, the tree appears like a dry stick, but then a silent revolution happens. It sprouts brilliantly, huge flowers. What was a dry stick is now laden with stunning flowers. It seems as if God especially sent his beautiful umbrella, something that was thought to be a useful stick. This happens so that some servant of God may see it and exclaim, Lord, I too am a flame of the forest to bloom on. If you want, you can cause beautiful flowers to bloom on me. I am a dried stick. If you want, you can make me green. I am leading a meaningless existence. If you want, you can fill my life with meaningfulness. Perennial philosophy by Ekanathishwar. I have these quoting somebody's. I have I have spoken at times of a light in the soul, a light that is uncreated and uncreatable. To the extent that we can deny ourselves and turn away from created things, we shall find our unity and blessing in that little spark in the soul, which neither space nor time touches. These words, addressed to ordinary people in a quiet German speaking town almost 700 years ago, testify to a discovery about the nature of the human spirit as revolutionary as Einstein's theory about the nature of the universe. Mr. Eckhart's passionate sermons, training to convey the absolute in the words of the street and marketplace, became immensely popular. These words. And what did he teach? Essentially, four principles, later called the perennial philosophy, because they have been taught from age to age in culture after culture. First, there is a light in the soul that is uncreated and uncreatable, unconditioned, universal, deathless. In religious language, a divine core of personality which cannot be separated from God. Eckhart is precise. This is not what the English language calls the soul, but some essence in the soul that lies at the very center of consciousness. As Saint Catherine put it, my me is God, nor do I know myself, my selfhood except in God. In Indian mysticism, the divine core is simply called Atman, the self. Second, the divine essence can be realized. It is not an abstraction. It need not. And says must not remain hidden under the covering of our everyday personality. It can and should be discovered so that its presence becomes a reality in daily life. Number three, this discovery is life's real and highest goal. Our supreme purpose in life is not to make a fortune, not to pursue pleasure, not to write our name in history, but to discover the spark of the divine that is in our hearts. Finally, the fourth, when we realize this goal, we discover simultaneously that the divinity within ourselves is one and the same in all individuals, all creatures, all of life. Dear children, every time our mission has a small story, very simple but very thought provoking story. A man wanted to smoke. He went to a neighbor's house to light his charcoal. It was the dead of night and the household was asleep. After he had knocked a great deal, someone came down to open the door. At the sight of the man asked, "Hello, what is the matter?" The man replied, "Can't you guess? You know how fond I am smoking. I have come here to light my charcoal." The neighbor said, "You are a fine man indeed. You took the trouble to come and do all this knocking at the door. Why have you lighted a lantern in your hand?" He has gone with a lantern. What a man seeks is very near him. Still he wanders about from place to place. Epistles of Swami Ramdas. Beloved Ram, life is sweet when it is filled with the nectar of prayer. In this supreme state, the ordinary human vision is transformed into divine vision. The individual sense of life is changed into the universal consciousness. The movement of darkness are substituted by the playful waves of light. The contracted and fettered life gives praise to the free, vast, unlimited expanse of existence. Pain and sorrow are transmuted into eternal peace and joy. The blinding ignorance vanishes, and the illuminating light of knowledge takes its place. Chaos and confusion have no role. Harmony and peace reign instead. Life becomes completely blessed, exalted, purified, supremely free, and blissful. Total Namjapa received in the third round of the 15th course Namjapa for the month of March and April is 380 crores. The grand total of japa done so far in this round now stands at 7,796 crores. COVID-19, stepping stone of evolution. The prevailing pandemic COVID-19 has changed the course of life in the last few months. Although life is filled with uncertainties, it is these uncertainties that aid us along in our spiritual journey. Birod Papa said, "Men of true wisdom and perfected experience, who have probed deep into the mysteries of life, acclaim with no uncertain voice the invaluable uses of adversity. Surely, if there were no suffering in the world, there could be no evolution of man toward the highest destiny of life, the knowledge of immortality. It is through sorrow the soul understands the real foundation and purpose of existence. So, while efforts should be made to take all precautionary steps at the individual level as well as at the collective level to control the pandemic by adhering strictly to the instruction given by the authorities, as spiritual children of Birod Papa, we should also offer special prayer to him. In ashram, the prayer is worded as follows: O indwelling and all pervading Lord of the universe, for the reason only known to you, part of your cosmic Leela, you have caused the pandemic through the coronavirus that has spread to every country. This has disrupted the normal run of life. A deep sense of fear, uncertainty, and anxiety have engulfed the whole of humanity. You have now prompted us to ardently pray to you to control and eradicate this pandemic by stepping in immediately and thus stopping the spread of this disease, providing relief to all the affected people, and restoring normalcy everywhere. In these unprecedented times of uncertainty that have enveloped the whole world, Papa's emphasis on the eternal kinship and oneness of man with man with the universe, man with God, reminds us how we can deal with this precarious situation by not being cowed down by this pandemic, but realizing its great use in the upward march of the soul, the goal of immortal consciousness. Let us bravely face all the trials of life, derive therefrom increased powers of the will, so that we can use these situations as stepping stones to attain the heights of absolute peace and bliss. Homage to Pujya Swami Muktananda. The month of June reminds us of the Samadhi of our dearest Swami Shuddhanandaji, who will always be remembered for his childlike nature, innocence, simplicity, and straightforwardness. Swami Shuddhanandaji, through his very life, has taught us that while carrying on with the devotional practice and selfless service, one can always lead an innocent, simple life. By remembering him, let us try to emulate these noble qualities that he epitomized. Thought for the month: be the light unto yourself, and in your own original way, manifest the magnificence and power of your enlightened life. Be highly creative and set free the infinite power that is within you. Take your stand on the supreme truth, which is your real existence. March onward in life with courage and joy. There are a few quotations. Peace and joy being, Papa's again. Peace and joy being your inherent possession. Why go out of yourself in pursuit of them? Being the light yourself, why do you grope in darkness longing for an outer changing ray? Why deny your own everlasting radiance? Know that you are the soul of the very universe, eternal light, peace, and joy. Realize your light, illuminate all. Say, I am the all blissful spirit. Shed your joy on all. Assert your divine nature. Liberate thousands and millions from the fetters of knowledge. Be God. Lead others to God. Swami Chinmayananda. Light of consciousness, which illumines our experiences, is not like the light of fire. The light of the fire can illumine only objects that are there. But the light of consciousness also illumines the objects that are not there. It is the light of consciousness that illumines for us not only light but also darkness. When the room is dark, we are aware that it is dark. The awareness of the darkness is because of the light of consciousness in us. This consciousness is the aware in me, who brings to me the awareness of things that exist and things that do not exist. It is the light of lights, it is the eternal light. Simple, but very, very thought provoking. The no knowledge and the yes knowledge is known by me. Peter Santos. The spiritual freedom we seek cannot be found by grasping at, retreating to, or protecting our perceived safe spaces. Our freedom lies in remaining open continuously, not only to life's changes, but also to the divine light within us and others. This is our choice. Although often perceived as a weakness, being open and surrendering to the experience of the present moment is our greatest strength. But authentically living life in the now, we submit to divine guidance, where we find the freedom to see everything equally and sacred in truth, always living in truth. Love is the divine light that melts away all blockages. Love heals our being. God is not only the silent and attributeless Brahman, but also a truth revealed as eternal light, infinite love, endless peace and bliss. Look within for your answers. Your divine nature, your inner light knows all the answers peacefully. As darkness accumulated in caves for centuries takes no time to vacate when light is brought, so it is with the man who has accumulated darkness even from his birth. All flies away when reality, this divine light, shines in the closet of his heart. That is how the May June vision comes out, throwing its light on the inner light. It is for the becoming aware of the inner light God prompted us to take up in search of Papa. That is the light within. Papa is the light within. And later on, to see that light in everywhere, he also took us to through prayers, through going through the contents of the prayer. I find my God everywhere. So we took up so many. One by one, we have to do the recap. We have 15 minutes. Then what shall we take up? In the list, Hills days over, fields over, workshop over, office over, marketplace over, forest. Everybody likes a trip through forest. So we are a little bit alert on the wild elements. Still we go there. We have to watch ourselves. What is that prompts us to go there? Different types of uh, trees, different types of flowers. And there is stillness there. First one that attracts is the stillness. Though every tree is busy with its metabolic activities, fruition, flowering, so many things are going on, but all silently. We spend, just like when we go to the beach and calm, sit there quietly, we go to the forest and just hear, just keep our eyes open, ears open. Stillness, calmness, quiet, green and fresh. About 25 miles from this ashram, there was a barren land a few years back, absolutely barren, dry land, not even a single shrub. God prompted one Abdul Karim, who was in Gulf countries, we were told. He came here, bought these 20 or 25 acres of land, and then by his perseverance, patience, commitment, every rainy season, he will bring different types of seedlings of trees. And now it has become a wonderful forest. We had the privilege to go there and witness. It has come in the Guinness Book. The Google, it will be there if you go and see that. It's a sight to be seen. Everything is, you can go there, just watch and come back. Every now and there, you will find a water pot or something, where the water is there. What for? For the birds, animals, reptiles are there. Different types of shrubs with thorns, without thorns. Different types of trees with flowers, with fruits. Yeah, children go there. You have to be silent throughout. That's why we remember. You can just watch. Yes. quietude, greeneries. Everything is fresh. Then living together in harmony, it maintains each uniqueness, different shapes and characteristics. Different types of trees, unlike us, they don't fight. Unlike us, they don't insist for their ownership. But they all live, they all bring out their fullest efficiency. What does God teach us? Do not forget about it. Not to see the characteristics of the forest. Through the characteristics of the forest, God is teaching us. God is making His presence felt in us in the form of stillness, quietude, freshness, harmonious living, small insects, reptiles, animals, birds, trees. Just imagine, God is telling us to see how I am allowing the co-creations to exist harmoniously, right from the tiniest to the grasses. Please think about it. He's not simply going on a safari to forest area. No. Oh, see, giving space to everything balances development. Even if there is a landslide, next year you will find something sprouting there. Many of you might have gone to such places. Say, for example, in Wayanad, where prior to coming to ashram, we were there for more than 30, 40 years. There is a guard section. When you are up, from there you can see. Even today, it's a sight to be seen. Look at past the forest. Nowadays, a lot of people are. And Wayanad to Bang, Mysore, there is a 12-mile forest area. Even now, it's forest area. Wild elephants are there. So many things. To see a photograph itself is a joy. Different types, uncontaminated, very important. Pure. When development happens, he provides the forest to counter the pollution and contamination. Human being is there, and they go as tourists, they put all this plastic and everything. That is called virgin forest. No? Every day they have put a lot of boats. Just go and spend some time. We remember there is still, but now it is all crowded business centered. There was a lake very near to the beginning of the guard section. So 30, 40 years back, whenever we come to ashram and we take some prayer or books, there we go every Sunday. Some friends from the nearby town will come. It is a forest area, absolutely a forest area. We all go there and we will have a 2, 3 hour session there, accepting the chirping of the birds every now and then. Otherwise, no. Then we make a round again, take different types of flowers, and there very little only very little talking or reading. Most of the time absorbing, assimilating. It is a place where you can easily reflect and contemplate because there are no outside disturbance. Absolutely no. The God is providing, telling that I am providing you through forest a most conducive environment for your reflection. Try to develop it. Don't contaminate, don't pollute. When you go there, you behave well. You don't spoil the virginity there. One more line for the scientist to say that you have heard this. It is the place where the human race began. So first everything was forest. We know the different types of from Darwin's theory of evolution to how it evolved. That is our base. Everything is original there. Nothing is artificial. When we come out, we have learned now to how to propagate through this. What do you call that? There are so many scientific systems by which you can make a plan now. Hybrid. Eh? Hybrid. Not hybrid. It's called some cell tissue culture. Tissue culture is there. Agreed. But here everything is original. Everything is original. The so-called individual has not spoiled anything there. That could be one of the reasons why you and I are drawn to that place. Everything is original. How it came, where it came, it's a thought for our mind. Just think about it. So many other dimensions may come. Take it up. We started with Anahata and Ahata. Finally, again, we concentrated on the inner light. We came to know mental chanting is the best way to hear the Anahata, uninterrupted at the same time, unexpressed form of sound. Papa has assured us that will lead us to the emergence of witness consciousness, again resulting in God realization. Then we came to the light of lights, a person who is going with a lantern for getting fire somebody's house. It is exactly the light of light that is inside. The light of lights means the awareness, because of which we are what we are. We feel we are what we are. The awareness absolute. Elaborately, everybody discussed about it. Then we also took God in the form of forest. More we will take it up tomorrow. We again repeat our request. We would like to have the feedback on all the points that we have touched so that it doesn't become a session like that. It becomes a sadhana for both of us. It will give us more so that we can share it to many others. Your contribution will help us to make us more effective in our sadhana and at the same time enable us to pass it on to others. Each one's dimension may be different, perspective may be different. Kindly do that and send as many of your reflections through email. Adieu. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Om Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. The chart they have written adaptability, purifying the nature. Nature in different form helping, not interfering in others' work. No caste, no creed, no religion. Nature is tolerating the intolerance, model to others, unable to. Sorry. Thank you, Swamiji, our Guru who leads from darkness to light. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram. Mahatma. Hari Om.